I want to get rid of my old Toyota and get a new racing Ferrari. And I'm going to add some negative camber to the tires so I can go over those sharp corners like nobody's business. Camber. C-A-M-B-E-R. Camber. Camber is a beautiful sounding word to me. Camber, camber, camber. Doesn't it just roll off the tongue? And luckily enough, it's a beautiful word that describes beautiful things that you can see. Camber is an angle that helps you describe the curvature of things that you might normally think are flat, or that ideally are flat. So how does that have to do with cars and race cars? Well, let's break it down. In the etymology of the word camber, it actually comes from Old Latin and Old French. There's this Old French word called chambre, which can describe the arching of something or the curvature of a beam. And you have to put yourself back in the times of Old Latin and Old French. Imagine you were in, the 1400s building some cathedral, and at the top of your cathedral, you might think first that you'd want this long horizontal wooden beam. But no, we got to be fancy. We also have to support some more load. So instead of a perfectly straight horizontal beam, we're going to make it an arch. We're going to add curvature to that long beam so that the ends of our beams are slightly lower than the center or middle part of our beam. Can you imagine that? So that at the top of our cathedral, we've got this slight horizontal arch. Well, the ends of the beams now are slightly angled compared to the perfectly horizontal ideal beam. And that angle that the ends of the arch make with the perfectly horizontal direction, that's camber. That is the camber angle. So camber grew from just describing these beams to describing other things that might normally be flat. For example, roadways. In civil engineering, when you build a road, it's not a cartoon road that is perfectly flat because when it rains, that's just going to collect water. Not good. So civil engineers build camber into the road. You build this hump into the road, right? Go outside right now. Look at your street. There's a slight arch, slight curvature over the top of the road, slight hump, so that water, when it rains or snows, like it'll flow to the edge of the roadway. It'll go to the curb. And again, you can measure the angle of the road at the edges, at the curb, the angle that the road makes with the perfect horizontal, and that's camber angle. Now let's talk about cars. Imagine I've got my new beautiful Ferrari, and because I don't care about driving laws, I'm driving right down the center of that road, right on top of the middle of the hump of the roadway, because I'm crazy. And all of a sudden I just brake and I stop and I leave my parked Ferrari right in the center of the road. Who cares about right of way? Get out of the way. I'm driving a Ferrari. Now you go up to me and you're in front of my Ferrari looking straight on like I'm about to run you over. And I say, I'm going to teach you about cambers. So I tell you, look at the front of my Ferrari and crouch down. Look at where the tires meet the road and look at my tires. You might think that the tires are perfectly vertically aligned, that they're perfectly pointing up and down. But no, the tires are actually slightly off. The bottom of the tires where it meets the road, they might be slightly further away from the car. And the top of the tires, well, they might be slightly closer to the body of the car. So the tires are not perfectly vertically aligned. They've got a camber angle as well. And that camber angle can help me go over banked curves. It can help me maintain my traction. It can help me continue to have contact with the road. If I were driving a tractor, I could have a certain camber angle to help me go over rough patches or humps in the road as well. So camber, again, is an angle that describes something that you might think is perfectly vertically aligned. Camber is a beautiful word describing beautiful things that you can see, and it is an engineering word of today. Hey, it's Pius. I host the Engineering Word of the Day podcast, and I also host the K-12 Engineering Education podcast, all about spreading engineering knowledge and love to everybody. Go on over to k12engineering.net, the website, to find out more. Thanks for listening.